Hello everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at the Fireclaw Aldurs set. So I have never really featured a class set on the channel before, but I wanted to give the Aldurs one a chance. So Aldurs is kinda like a mixed ball, you get both elemental skills and melee stats, so it isn't very strong for say, well, wine druids, fire druids, that sort of thing. But it is however pretty good for those who utilize both trees. So Fireclaw is excellent for using the Elders. Also another thing that I noticed really fast is that the Druid's weapon, you know, the Elder's scepter or whatever, is actually pretty good for reaching a good attack speed, which is important for this build. I want to show off the video here before we get on, the one that kind of inspired me. You know, just a little video with only 2,000 views on it. He really did help me out. You know, it's like a minute or two long. It's just very good. And as you see, all items are very cheap to get. I will however say that the storm shield and the inventory can be a bit messy, but the rest is, you know, for free pretty much if you just play a bit online or whatever. He also uses fire facets, which I coveted, and I actually like that because it's gonna boost your Fireclaw damage by a lot, even though it would be nice to maybe just like get some imp runes or something like that. But this guide really helped me out. Yeah, I will have his link in the description below. And then also just another nice guide here, since this is more a PvP focused build. A lot of people would use this build only for PvP. So yeah, I will also have this in the description below, because mostly this is for, you know, PvP, this build. Not a lot of people are going to be using this for PvM, but still I like to believe that maybe some people will try out this one, just because again, Aldur's set is pretty doable to get in game without too much looking around. First of all, I just want to say this set looks so cool. I really just like Aldur's set. A lot of set items look kinda trash, but for an old game I think this one looks pretty good. Especially the helm is always fun to me with those horns. But yeah, this build is obviously more for like, you know, PvP fun. It's kinda like a quirky build for PvM. The main problem with this build is that it's, you know, it's kinda like the summon druid I showed recently, where he would only be using Meul. It just lacks AoE, and there's really no way to get AoE in this build except just going out and maybe do like a fissure or volcano, whatever, before you start going into werebear. But like, that's too clunky, because again, you cannot cast spell while in werebear, which is the form that we are going to be using only. But yeah, as you know by now, I am kind of like a more endgame focused person that just likes that optimal fast AoE clear build, and this one is definitely a bit more slow one, sort of like the druid. And it's really not because it's single target it's bad. I think Fireclaw can get as much as 20k damage with some really high end gear, you know, not this shit here. That would be stuff like yeah, you know, using grief or whatever, I don't know, something really stupid like that. Very good items, you could probably get like 20k Fireclaw damage. This one is at like 12k. I can just quickly pop in. Every plus skiller, you know, like a Mage Feast or a Bulkator's Wedding Band, they all boost the damage by about 500 or so with the fire facets in the gear as well. So plus skillers is also a big contributor to damage on this one. But yeah, let's show off some gameplay. I have tried to prepare a little nasty pack here. It's just one player, you know, with a pretty healthy Mercenary out there helping me. But one of the main problems obviously is fire immunes. I cannot kill fire immunes. I just haven't found a way to deal with fire immunes solo. Obviously, as soon as we, you know, mix in a few, you know, get our summons up and all that stuff, we are, yeah, actually performing pretty well. I was just nearly dying there. Let's just do that again. Oh, stupid summons take such a long time. But yeah, as soon as the summons up, you know, you're actually starting to get some pretty okay damage even against fire immunes. But yeah, we can just quickly go a little further up now. Oh, just wanna make sure I switch right. There you go. One of the things I was pretty surprised about is that it actually has somewhat okay leech. It's not great by any means, but it's doable to work with. Like, as you can see, it does leech even against fire immunes. And I can just quickly go down and hit on this Oblivion Knight. You see that the health jumps up by like 300 instantly. The leech is pretty good on this build, and it's mostly down to having a very high attack speed. The attack speed comes from the Wayfan socketed with 3 shales, and then a nice cat's eye amulet just for some run speed and 20% faster run walk. But yeah, it's definitely a bit more of a casual build, but if you want to make Aldurs set work, this is really the way to go, I would say. So let's cover the stats. As you can see right now, I do not have enough strength to wear a Monarch for my Call to Arms buff, so we're just sticking with a Lightless for switch. And then just 156 strength for your Storm Shield. And as soon as Storm Shield hits, you're gonna hit more than that, obviously, because Storm Shield gives 30 strength. Yeah, so it's basically just enough strength for your Monarch as usual, and then I went with 10,000 attack rating with Call to Arms when I'm in my area, so you get like 50 or so attack rating per dexterity point, so it's a massive help to dump raw points into dexterity, because I like to aim for 10,000, 9,000 attack rating on any melee build so I can hit mobs more easily on hill. And then obviously vitality is up to yourself. I'm the kind of guy that's like, screw vitality, I don't really need 10,000 life or 7,000 or whatever this build can maybe get if you really min-max it. So yeah, if you just kind of like want more damage or even more attack rating, you could actually just go like 300 vitality and be just as good. But that's up to yourself how you want to, build your survival stats. And then we come to a little more fun thing, the defense part and resistance. The defense is actually okay on this build, so that's a nice little thing. But the resistance here, it's very hard to cap poison and fire. For the demonstration of this build, I went with some not too crazy inventory, but if you really had the wealth, you could obviously cap resistance pretty easily with this setup. But yeah, it's up to your own wealth and what you can kind of find around the game and so forth. But yeah, we can also just quickly talk about the build now. Some time ago it was suggested to me that I should stop using Grizzly and focus more on Spirit Wolf, just for having just for having more meat shields, cause 1 meat shield or 5 meat shields, it's kinda a big debate what is better. Obviously the Werebear or the Grizzly even is gonna do more damage than 5 of these, I suppose. But yeah, I actually quite like the idea of just having meat shields that kinda tanks for you. So I would probably just go with maybe not even a point into Grizzly. Well, it does give a bit of synergy, but besides that, just go with the whatever summon you like, but consider the Spirit Wolf. And then 1 point into Oak Sage, and then consider 1 point into Hurdle Wolverine if you wanted to. Then shape. If you want that like 7,000 life I was talking about before, you can max Lycanthrope and just get a lot of life. It's worth it, I suppose, but it's not really needed. Yeah, it's also more PvP thing. And then we come to these skills here: Werebear, Mayu, Prequest, 1 point into Shockwave, very important, just 1 point is enough. And then Fireclaw, just max it, so much damage for maxing it is. Sadly, however, Hunger is not really worth it. It's just very sucky, because when you start using Hunger, you're not doing any damage, and then you're just gonna die regardless, because it doesn't leech enough anyways. Yeah, that's just kind of the sad truth about Hunger. Now, however, Shockwave, if you haven't used Shockwave before, it's just one of the best PvM skills in the game. It's also the only way to really crowd control in this game, pretty much. It's just very good for PvM. Especially for those who play untwinked or play at a lower gear level or whatever. Shockwave is just so handy to have. But yeah, then we come to the elemental skills. Molten Boulder, Fissure, Volcano. Depending on if you took Lycanthrope or whatever, you might not be able to max all 3 of these. It's kind of like up to yourself. I could also max Firestorm, so yeah, it's kind of like a personal build. Also, just higher level you are, because I'm level 99 right now, and I haven't chose to put the last 17 remaining points. But I just want to again to show the damage. There you go, 15k. And I just noticed the damage now. It's in 13 to 15k, and I put 1 point into Firestorm. Already there you see it just ticks. So let's see how fast this goes from 14 to 15k. That's 4 skills, 5. So every 5th skiller into the last synergy that I could take gives 1k minimum damage. Like, that's pretty massive. Let's see just how high we could go. You see, nearly 20k maximum damage on Fireclaw. It's pretty sweet, and again, this is using freaking Aldurs weapon. I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, this is obviously also, using a character that is level 99, which is pretty out of reach for everyone besides a few who play online. But yeah, I just wanted to mention again that the Fireclaw can really go high if you do choose to go for that maximum damage, where you leave out Lycanthrope for less life, and also just go for a high level such as like level 99, whatever, 95 maybe, if you can manage that. It's kind of rare that a build gets so much out of leveling, so I just wanted to highlight that as well. So let's take a quick look at the Mercenary. Obviously we have to use Infinity on a fire build. It just helps for the fire damage, and again, Conviction Aura, if you don't know about that, but Conviction Aura also lowers the defense of mobs, and again, that's just gonna help for both the summons and yourself. Like, honestly, with Infinity, I should probably not even take points into Dexterity when I'm just thinking about it right now, like, stupid me. I can always go and respec, but like, Conviction Aura, god damn it, I need to do like a more in-depth talk about this weapon once. Cause damn, Infinity is just so crazy. It just opens up so many things when you think about it. This weapon is just everything. I love Conviction Aura. But yeah, Conviction Aura obviously just again very good. And then obviously we need some higher boss damage or to hit, fire immunes. And this is where the Crushing Blow also comes in and helps a lot. Because we saw those fire immunes at the start of the video. I have no chance of killing those. It would take like a minute just to kill one of them, I suppose, if I was just gonna solo them. But when my Merc hits them, it starts to die pretty fast. I should also mention this is a Cryptic Axe with an increased attack speed dual. But let's move on to the actual gear. Mage Feast, at a rock belt, or Nosferatu. It's kind of like up to yourself. A rock belt is obviously gonna give me a plus skiller, which again you saw early on helps a lot for the damage, but I kind of like this belt. I don't need the attack speed. I tried to kind of like calculate that before if I could utilize it in any setup, but I couldn't really. I would always miss 10 attack rating. But yeah, I kind of just like the stats, just look at this, 2 mana after each kill, 15 strength, close target, 7 life. It's kind of like a fun little build. Obviously I could also go with stuff like Gore Riders or anything really low like that, but if I have to be honest, a rock build is probably the best option just for pure damage. But I just wanted to kind of show this one off. Also, another thing is that if you for some reason collected this set but are unable to maybe get a full free shale, or maybe you don't have an amulet and you want to reach 110% faster attack speed, 110, I'm just gonna say that again, 110, then maybe you can actually utilize this build, because we again aiming for 110% faster cast rate. That is the breakpoint that we need in Werebear. With Fireclaw skill and all those shit. So yeah. I wanted to at least utilize just a different build on the rock, because it's so boring together with Mage Priest, but it's so good on this build. Obviously, it's very strong. And then I want to show off a little ring debate here. As you can see my resistance right now. This ring here, obviously this would be the ideal GG, game is over, I won ring, best possible roll, whatever. I don't even know if the game can legit roll a ring like this one. You know, both life leads, health duration, 2 resist and attack rating. It seems pretty high to me. But yeah, it was just a ring I modified really fast. For most people, they should probably just stick with a Bulkator's wedding band and then go with a Ravenfrost ring. But yeah, I just find Ravenfrost ring to be so boring lately. I don't know why, but also another thing again, we don't even need the attack rating if we're gonna have conviction or regardless and all those stuff. But yeah, as you can see, Ravenfrost rings gives so much attack rating, it's stupid. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of highlight this ring here. It's pretty freaking cool. If you can get a roll like this one with, you know, a bit of half restoration, some poison, fire resist, life leech, maybe attack rating. Pretty sweet ring if you can get one like this. Oh, and we should probably also just mention the amulet real fast. Now, Cat's Eye amulet. Why do I use this one? In the video I have in the description below as well, he says that this is like a crappy amulet. You should go with like a Mars amulet or something. Like, it's probably true. Mars amulet, resistance, plus skillers. It's just very strong. Obviously, it's very good. But I hate running slow. I cannot deal with that. I need to be able to be agile and have some sort of movement in this game. And if I don't have teleport and I can't cast any spells, whatever, I kind of just want a good one walk. So I go with Cat's Eye amulet as the main premier amulet that I would choose for this build. Aldurs boots plus this one actually gives a pretty good run speed. I can just, you know, run a bit around here and then quickly take off the Cat's Eye amulet. Like, I can already instantly, I can feel a difference between not wearing it and wearing it. So that is why I choose to go with Cat's Eye amulet, just to have more movement speed. I know that's a silly thing, because usually I'm like, oh, damage is everything. But in this case, I also want to have some agile and movement in the build. Yeah. And then obviously we should probably also talk a little about Elder set. What does it actually give? It gives so many good things for melee, but yeah, it's kind of like a random thing. But one of the things I noticed it instantly was the mana leech, which is pretty fun. I guess it's not really useful, but still it's cool that it has mana leech. And then obviously +3 to druid skills is always strong, and you don't really need the bonus to attack rating if you have an infinity. But like, for some reason, if you don't have an infinity merc, 150% bonus to attack rating is obviously very strong. Also just the amazing magic find and +15 all resistance is very good. But yeah, I like this set. It gives an all-arounder, but it's kinda tailored more towards going melee with the mana leads and bonus to attack rating and enhanced damage. But yeah, also just these items themselves, I mean, they're not that good. This one gives some faster hit recovery, which is kind of interesting, but that's about it. This one, I mean, who cares? It gives some lightning resistance, which I suppose is okay, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, one shape, one elemental, it's not very interesting. And then we come to the little weapon here. I mean, it gives leech, and that's really about it. Elemental damage is also really low, but it has 3 sockets, which makes it a very good weapon just because of that. Because we need the attack speed to get 110% faster cast rate, again 110. So yeah, it fitted it really well having 3 sockets. And again, Aldurs boots are just amazing. I use this one on so many builds. I love Aldurs boots, simply one of the best boots in the game. So that's at least a cool little thing. But yeah, the sets alone, the set items even alone are pretty weak. you can definitely say that this is not a very good made specific set for a caster or melee. It's kind of like an all-rounder again. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers the gears. Let's just quickly take the inventory. Just some Shaper of Alive, Torch and Anelios, and then away with some modded 32020s, and just some Poison and Life resistance just to get a bit of poison resistance. It helps, I suppose. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. So let's just re-roll the map and see what we can find in the gameplay. So let's get into some gameplay while I also round up the last things I need to talk about. Let's first cover kind of just the basic things with buffing up. Always just buff up with Call to Arms, then do your summons, and then do Call to Arms again, because they just get boosted from that +1 skill or life, whatever. Also just, the spirit dies so easily, so actually making it more, bulky might actually be very good, because you can't really recast it in Werebear. At least if I remember right. Oh yeah, you can cast it in Werebear, but still. But yeah, as soon as you buffed up, that's pretty much it, and you're ready to go. So the rotation is really simple. If I feel like it, I can just go for some crowd control, but at this gear level, you don't really need to worry about shockwave. It would probably be more for like leveling and whatnot, but luckily we only need one skill into it to make it work really well, so that's always nice. Anywho, I should also mention that this is players 5 or players 4 even on hell difficulty. And as you can see, I'm able to one-shot mobs pretty easily, so that single target damage is definitely there. There is no doubt about single target performing really well. But let's also talk a little more about Leech and Survival. If I can somehow get a pack that lowers my health a little bit. There you go. Just gonna drop some mana too. Oh yeah, it's fun enough to see the Fissure and Volcano actually doing somewhat okay damage. But let's pop into bear form again and see the Leech. It's hard to tell just exactly how much health that I'm leeching per hit, but it seems to be around like at least 50 health each connected hit. That's not a lot in heated gameplay, but you gotta make work with what you have, I suppose. However, Dracul's, I'm not quite sure about the proc, if it's really great for this build, but slapping on Dracul's and making it work on a melee build is obviously super strong. Because again, Mage Feast, we don't need the faster cast range, it's only for, that +1 to fire skills, which is not that strong anyways. So if the cools work well, that's great for melee builds. Anywho, I should also again talk a little about highlight again, making use of this class set. The Aldurs set is just very cool. It doesn't have to be, just, I don't know, Immortal King or Talrasha or whatever all the time. You can actually make use of this set really well, and okay, mostly it's down to actually having Aldur's weapon reaching a good faster attack speed breakpoint, because that's really important for the damage part. But even disregarding that part, having good use of this set is pretty rare for druids, because I don't see many builds that I would consider using Aldurs for. So just making use of a class set like this, actually good use, is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. Anywho, we can also, or I can just slap on a little note on the screen now for gear recommendations for like PvP and endgame, because obviously a lot of people would make a Fireclaw Druid for PvP. That's a very common thing, I suppose, mostly for PvPers. And obviously if you're PvPing, you do not want to stick around just in Aldurs, you want to get a more high-end gear setup. And my recommendations are gonna be on the screen, so you can kind of copy that and trade along, because some of the items are pretty hard to get. I wouldn't say expensive unless you really go for some really crazy things, such as yeah, there's this one role which I I haven't really seen spawn before. Oh yeah, now I'm actually facing a fire when you can see just how slow this is. Anywho, that's this one really cool spawn. It's like a 4-socket faceplate, right? So it's 4-socket faceplate, but it also spawns with 40% increased attack speed. I have never really seen one drop in game for myself, but such a roll is pretty cool as well. But like, just get a 6-socketed faceplate, those are cheap enough to get, and just go with some shell wounds and you're good to go. But yeah, I think that pretty much rounds it up. Again, the damage is there. Being able to actually kill stuff on 4 players hill is pretty sweet for such a casual build, so I'm pretty happy with the results overall. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers the build, so again, thank you for watching and have a good one.